Hello and welcome everyone. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about the VLANs. So VLANs is equal to virtual LANs. So we'll try to understand what is VLAN and what is the importance of VLANs in the switches. So far, I would like to show you one of the scenario which is very important to understand. Say this, as we know, say for example, if this is a switch, so of course the switches has the multiple ports like this. Let's say the switch has the multiple ports, and consider this is my port number 1, port number 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Like this the port numbers will be there in your switches. Now of course we'll be using the devices here. Say for example, this is my end user devices. All of the end user devices are connected to this. Your PCs are connected here. For example, this is PC A, B, C, D and E. Now we have configured the IP addresses as well for this particular PC. Let's say 10.0.0.1, 10.0.0.2, 10.0.0.3, 10.0.0.4 and 10.0.0.5. Now the point is, normally if you are having this particular switch and connected with multiple computers here and assign this kind of IP addresses, same range of IP addresses, so one of the PCs can go ahead and communicate with all other, like PCA can communicate with all other, also PCE can communicate with all other. It's very much possible they can communicate. But think about a scenario that this particular 3 PCs belongs to one of the department, let's say the sales department, and these 2 PCs belongs to HR department. So normally if they belongs to different department, and if you connect to the same switch and assign the IP addresses like this, definitely one of the PCs can communicate with another PCs in another departments. So now you need to provide the security here. That's very much important, that you need to separate and say that sales department should not communicate with HR department. This is something you need to do. They should not communicate. Now they are connected to the single switch. That's the main reason they are able to communicate to each other. And if you want, you can go ahead and have the security as well. For example, we can make use of the switches features which is called as VLANs. VLANs is equal to virtual LAN, and by default VLAN 1 is there. Whenever it comes to the by default in the switches, you might have remember, by default we have the VLAN 1 and all the ports belongs to VLAN 1 by default, and that's the main reason all the PCs can communicate to each other. If you want, you can go ahead and break down your VLAN 1 into multiple, and all the PCs also can get separated. For example, this all the ports belongs to VLAN 1. I can go ahead and say that, hey, this is basically my VLANs and this is one VLANs, in which you can say that, hey, this is, let's say, my VLAN 10 and this is my VLAN 20, and VLAN 10 is being used for my sales department and VLAN 20 is being used for my HR department. Like this we can say. So the normal process will be, we need to go ahead and for sure you need to create the VLAN first, and once the VLAN is created, you need to assign the ports. This is 2 jobs you need to perform. You need to create the VLANs and then you need to go ahead and assign the ports as well. So in simple term, what is VLANs now? VLAN is the process of breaking the single broadcast domain into multiple broadcast domain. By default in the Cisco switches, only one broadcast domain will be there due to default VLAN 1. But if I go ahead and break down into multiple VLANs, means multiple broadcast domain. So once you create and do this scenario, like create VLAN and assign the ports, this cells and HR department PCs will be separated. They will not communicate to each other. So this is basically the actual importance of your VLANs. So now let's do one thing. Let's look into the slide deck and see some of the other points as well. But this is what the major point that you need to remember. Let's move ahead. Say this. So as we discussed, divide a single broadcast domain into multiple broadcast domain is called as VLANs. By default, all the ports belongs to VLAN 1 into the Cisco switches. And make sure VLANs are also called as port based VLAN, because you need to create the VLAN and assign the ports as well. Make sure VLAN 1 is known as administrative VLAN or management VLAN as well. So far VLAN is providing the layer 2 basic security as well, because we have seen that like your sales department cannot communicate with HR department once you implement this. And one of the very important information is this: VLAN information is stored into the VLAN.dat file into the flash memory. In the switches you will find the flash memory. In flash memory, this VLAN.dat file contains the information about VLAN configurations. So this is very important points that you need to remember. Now couple of more points when it comes to the VLANs. As I said, VLAN 10, VLAN 20, VLAN 50. What is the actual range of VLANs? Make sure the VLAN range are basically this: 2 power 12 is equal to VLAN range. That's nothing but 2 power 12 is equal to 4096. So it will be 02 till 4095 is the range, in which 0 is reserved, we cannot use. This is also we cannot use. Apart from that, 1 is reserved for Cisco by default VLAN, and you can go ahead and create the VLAN into your Cisco switches. The range could be between 2 to 1001, and it is considered into normal VLAN range. After that, 1002 to till 1005, this is also normal only, but again it is reserved for some of the technology like Cisco default for FDDI and token ring. It is reserved. This is outdated technology, we do not use that, but still the VLANs are present for the same. So make sure the normal range which you can create into your Cisco switches is this only, between 2 to 1001. Apart from that, we can go ahead and create this VLAN range as well, and this is basically considered as your extended VLAN, extended VLANs, and this we can create in only VTP transparent mode. VTP transparent mode. We will see that what is VTP and what is VTP transparent mode. But make sure normally the extended VLAN range can be created in VTP transparent mode of VTP version 2. We will discuss this in our coming lecture. Now, how exactly you can go ahead and configure the VLANs and implement? So just for a reference that I have shown to you here, that we can go ahead and create the VLANs by using this command. Like in configuration mode, we need to define VLAN, then VLAN number, and then names of your VLAN, and then exit. For example, VLAN 10 name is, let's say, cells, and then you need to implement, this is assigning the port. Go to interface mode and say this is interface fast Ethernet 0x0, and switch port mode access, and switch port access VLAN VLAN 10 exit. This is creation of VLAN, this is implementation, assigning the port of your VLANs. So the process is very simple. Now when it comes to the actual configurations, I will show you this into the demo in the next lecture itself. So of course we will see that again. When it comes to the verification, so VLAN brief you can define, or you can define this command as well. So interface, interface type, interface number, and switch port. to know the detailed information about the interfaces. The command is show interface, fast Ethernet 0 by 0 and switch port. Show interface, fast Ethernet 0 by 0, switch port. Once you define this command, it will give you the detailed information about the interfaces itself. So that's it for the verifications command as well. So we have discussed about VLAN, what is the importance of VLAN, and how you can go ahead and configure the VLANs as well. That's it for this particular lecture. Thank you. See you in the next chapter.